David, great to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
You were brilliant as Harold in this film.
Thank you.
We're so used to seeing you, though, as more serious characters. How cool was it for you to finally be involved in a dark comedy?
It was very cool, and it was something that I had been looking for because I've done a lot of dramatic roles, which I've loved doing, but I wanted to do something lighter. And when I read this script, I just thought, this is it. So I was really hopeful that the director, Egerton, would embrace the idea of me in this role. And not only did he, but he allowed me to play him as a Nigerian immigrant, which is something I saw in the character, because I was sort of thinking about, where does this naivety come from? Where does this sort of wide-eyed hopefulness come from? And it's something I definitely saw in my parents as immigrants to this country, so I was able to put that in there as well.
And you were really involved in the character, down to the formation of the suit.
Oh,
What?
Look, anything that I do, I like to feel like I have as much ownership of it as possible. But you have to have collaborators around you who are open to that. So, between how he spoke and how he moved and what he wore and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that to me is how you get a layered and dimensional character.
Harold really wants to change things at work, but
Yes.
he just doesn't.
Yeah.
You were, in your own personal life, you were living in England and you were getting steady work. I mean, you were a jobbing actor, but all of a sudden you went, you know what? No, I'm taking my family, I'm going to LA. Two questions. One, why? And two, how did you overcome something that we all find really hard to do? How did you overcome those doubts and actually back yourself?
Very good question. I mean, in terms of the why, I had big dreams for myself, and I could just feel that reaching the height of those dreams was going to be tricky in the British film industry, which is just smaller. It just is. And also my heroes were all over there. I didn't have many people to aspire to be like here. It was Sidney Poitier, it was Denzel Washington, it was Will Smith. And so as my wife and I talked about it, we just felt, let's take this gamble, let's take this punt and go. And you're right, it is scary, and it was scary. But at the end of the day, I know I'm a hard worker, and I know that if there is opportunity, I'm gonna try and grab it. And so, but there was no guarantee, and so thankfully it worked out.
What were those early days like? Like, did you ever go, what have we
Yeah.
done? I need to
Yeah.
go home. And how do you get through that?
Yeah, no, we had some very tricky times because we moved to LA in 2007, and then 2008 there was an economic crash and a writer's strike that basically
Great timing.
I know, rendered the film industry at a standstill. And so those were very, very tricky times. I went 14 months without working, which is tricky when you have 2 kids and another one on the way at the time. But we stuck at it. It's that thing I say. Young people often ask me, what advice I have for them in terms of trying to be an actor. And I say to them, only do it if it's the only thing in the world you want to do, because that's what'll get you through the tough times. The fact that, no, this is what I want to do and I'm going to stick at it.
Why is it what you want to do?
Because I love it. I love the power of storytelling. I love the cultural impact storytelling can have. And I'm transported by these characters that I get to play.
You've also gotten involved with producing. Why have you gone into that line of the industry?
Because, as I say, I love the creative process. And I think for me personally, there's something a bit debilitating about always waiting for other people to offer you an opportunity. I don't want to be someone who's waiting around. And so I like the idea of not needing license from other people in order for me to be creative. I'm also very aware that as an actor, you have peaks and valleys. You have moments where people like seeing you in movies and when they don't. And so for me, producing is something that I will be able to do regardless of whether people still want to see me in movies.
Yeah.
I can still be part of this industry, which I really love.
Can you tell us about the next film you're doing, Chaos?
Chaos Walking,
Yeah.
That film, we shot that already in Montreal, and it's based on the Patrick Ness young adult novels, and I play Aaron in that, a very crazy, out there kind of individual. And the conceit of the books are really amazing. It's basically a world in which women can see and hear the thoughts of men, but not the other way around. Hence the title, Chaos Walking.
I am loving that. And finally, besides seeing David Oyelowo in a totally different role, why should people check out Gringo?
Well, because I think they'll see themselves in it. The theme of the film is, does it pay to be good? But we wrap that theme up in a lot of comedy, action, and a bit of social commentary, and I think it's a fun ride.
Well, David, thank you for this, and thank you for spending time with us. It was a real pleasure.
Thank you.